Hey everybody, good afternoon. This is Wendy Cisco and I am live on YouTube channel. Not live on their channel per se, on my video recording on my phone. I am going on this way because I am, pretty disgusted, pretty upset, and, knowing that good is evil and evil is good at this point in time across the world. Okay, but I'm going to talk about what took place today in my own town, in my city I live in. Won't give the name because it's not important. Some of you may know, some of you may not. I just want to go on board and let you know that when you need the justice system or the police or whatever, they're not always there. Okay? They're not always doing their due diligence and protecting the law and protecting everything else. Okay? So I'm driving home by dropping my husband off at work, okay? And I'm going down this hill where I live at a stoplight. I'm at a stoplight. I'm in front of two cars. I'm in back of two cars, excuse me. And I noticed this black car coming in, and the light turns green, and this car just whips right out a Honda Accord right in front of this red car at the light. The lady didn't have a chance to even get going. He not only cut her off, but the oncoming traffic going up this hill, he cut her off and rammed her driver's side of her front bumper and knocked it off. So I'm here and back watching this whole thing go on, blah, 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 and encouraging them to get off the road because where we were at, they needed to get off because it was gonna be, it could have been more of an accident with many other cars. So I encouraged them just to get off the road, drive over to the out of the intersection over to the what do you call it, where there's stores and stuff. Anyway, so they drove over there, and her bumper's completely off at this point of her car, just dragging. And so I'm on the phone at this point, pulling in the driveway, getting on the phone with the police, and called them and waited and waited and waited during the process, talking to her, talking to him. The kid obviously did not have insurance, did not have proper ID, and was not accepting responsibility for his actions. And I told him, no, you were in the wrong. He acted like he didn't know English. So he called his family members, I'm assuming, as the youngster said, he was the brother, the owner of the car, not the driver, because there's only one driver. He's the one that was acting stupid and saying it was her fault. She didn't have her blinker on. Doesn't matter if she had her blinker on or not. He cut her off. Okay? But that's not my issue, really. Because I talked to both of them. I talked to the woman, told her I seen it. We all exchanged numbers. They didn't have insurance to cover this whole thing, obviously. He did not exchange the name and stuff. I told him he apologized to her. She was a sweet young woman with her friend, and elderly woman with her friend and her friend in the car. Two elderly women were just driving on a Saturday, probably going to enjoy lunch or something. I don't know. But she actually wanted to give me money because of helping her. I said, no, we're not rolling that way. I said, I won't take your money and I'm not going to, period. That's not the right thing to do. But I did call the 700 Club to have them pray. Because you know why? Because the police would not come out. So there was a pedestrian that seen the whole thing, and myself, a community pedestrian, whatever, that seen the whole thing. And the police, I called back the non-emergency line, and they called and told me that they weren't coming out because there was some other emergency that was more important, because these people were not injured or hurt or whatever. They did not put her as a priority because this officer told me he was the only one working because of all this other garbage going on in the town that took all the police away. Okay? So not one officer was dispatched to our situation. He called me on the phone, told us what to do, but I just thought that was just very, well, disheartening. Very, to me, not being prioritized as important, that this dear woman, elderly woman, and this kid, I've got video of all of them, got video of everything being said for the most part. Called my son because I'll just call them thugs, because these kids were acting like thugs, and they had not wanting to take responsibility, because he was driving I'm assuming without a license. So with that said, our justice system and our government and all that in this town or whatever is not very good at all. And so I cannot give credit to the police and this and that in this town, because I do not feel they have people's best interest at heart. And they're constantly making you, the person, make you feel bad when you're the one calling, reporting these things. And they have attitudes of the yin yang, and that's what I'm finding more of, is the police and the government officials and just people in general. Their hearts are just getting harder and harder and uglier and uglier. And Jesus told us these things are going to happen in the last days. And I'm mentioning my Lord and Savior because I took this before God. And you know what? I know God saw everything. He heard everything. And he heard that police officer. And so I pray in Jesus' name that the truth will be exposed, not only for that dear young dear woman, not young, but she's probably young at heart. It doesn't matter. There was no justice served today for that woman, okay? And then I asked the guys if they would be willing to pay for her towing, because she couldn't drive that car in that condition. Now, did she get a tow truck out there? I don't know, because I asked the officer what to do on the phone, trying to be respectful, whatnot, towards them still, but knowing in my heart they're crooked. They are simply crooked. The police department here in this town, they don't have your best interest at heart, okay? They're more or less wanting to give you tickets and arrest you, or make you take anger management classes, or send you to court so you could pay their fines that the courts want you to pay. It's all about money and politics here. Has nothing to do with being a service to your community. Not all the cops here are bad. Not every bad cop or whatever, and there's not every cop in the bunch that's bad. But, they were not here for this poor woman. And it wasn't her fault. It was the kid's fault. So, with that said, just pay attention. And if you see something happen, someone breaking the law, or you see just injustice being done, use your voice that God gave you, and don't be a coward, and don't be someone who doesn't want to get involved. Okay? Get involved, because you don't know when your time or moment on this earth is going to end, and you will stand before God, and you will give an account for what you did or did not do, or did not say, or respond to. Me, I didn't care. I was there for her. I watched the whole thing, and I didn't back down. And I'm encouraging all you, all over the world, don't back down for what is truth, right, and righteous, and pure, and whatever. Just do the right thing, and let God, what you do in secret, God will reward you openly. We don't need to be rewarded. We just need to do our due diligence and doing the right thing. I called you police officers, and you did not respond. So all responders do not respond when there's a need. So that's a big fat lie. That's a showcase. It's an act. It's a performance. And all you guys are worried about is politics and government who lies, cheats, and steals. And you guys are for their being tough and machismo because you're a cop, whether you're a man cop, woman cop, woman lawyer, man lawyer, judge, or whatever. Who cares about your high and mighty attitudes? Because God's going to bring you low because of your pride and ego. But there was no justice served. There was no help for that woman today. And I would say just simply this. I live in the West Coast in Washington State. I won't say where, but I'm going to just say the cops and the government here are crooked. Okay? I'm not born and raised in this state. And you know, a lot of you people that are born in this state tell us from where we're at or where we come from, such as a real estate agent told me, go back where you came from or whatever. This is God's green earth, not yours. The land doesn't belong to you just because you own land. This is God's land. This is God's world. Satan's ruling this world, but this is God's world. No one owns anything but God. So let me get that straight through your prideful thinking state of mind. I think you know who I am talking about. Woman who's full of pride. You're a realtor, but you're a very bad realtor. So not all people around you are good people, but not everybody's bad either. And I'm just saying that to be truthfully honest. You could judge me, you could criticize me, you could call me all kinds of names. I don't care. I don't answer to anybody but God. You can arrest me, you can do whatever you want, been down that road too. I don't care. What I care about is justice. And I want justice to be served, whether in our family or anywhere, because we're all sinners. We all fall short of God's glory. But to say you wear a badge and you're doing your job, you police officers in the town I live in did not do your job today. Okay? That was an accident, and it should have been dealt with by the police. Okay? So, God bless all those servicemen and women who do their job right. May God be with each and every one of you. But as for today, Saturday, the 22nd of July, there was no justice served, and there was no men or woman in uniform to protect that woman and her totaled car, which was a completely totaled, but the front end was. She did not get justice served to her, and I feel very bad for her. God bless her. Thank God she and the other guy didn't get hurt. They could have. because it was in a very bad place. Be with you all. Jesus Christ loves you. And have a beautiful weekend. I smile.